Hello everybody, how are you all doing today? This is Pastor Sunday here from Kyiv, Ukraine, but I'm not the host of this program today. It is Pane Olena Stebeska. Olena is the host of this program. She is leading us into interviewing our people so that you will know what God has done in Ukraine. And but today I have a surprise for you, because the person that is coming is a big surprise even to me. I didn't expect it. It was such a pleasant surprise for me to hear that she is the one going to speak. I personally want to hear what she'll be talking about today. But good enough, she speaks English. Maybe she's going to be speaking English all the time, or most of the time, or some of the time. So my work will be less, and then I'll be able to speak more when Mayowa comes back. Well, as the case may be, we're here, and please go share the link, go share the message, go share the link, and go invite your friends right now. Let's go invite everybody, and let's share that to my personal. Just share, and let's quickly go and invite our people. I'll do it. So go share the link and let's invite everybody. We've been having the time of our lives since this thing started. I'm so glad. I was telling my wife today, we were discussing, and I was sharing with her that I thank God for this idea. The idea to have this marathon, and to have not just the marathon with the Russians, but with the English as well. I mean, it's such a unique way. I was telling my wife today, we were discussing. It's just a unique way to celebrate birthday. Of course, definitely, nobody has seen anyone do that before. Everything Pastor Sunday does is always unique. So my wife was asking me, yeah, by the way, whose idea is that? Who gave that we should? That's not a good thing. Who gave the idea? Who gave the Pastor Novelas, no? No, don't worry. Who gave some challenge in my house here? Hello guys, we are back. Let's believe God that we are back. It has been raining here in Ukraine, so I think that is why our internet provider, not actually internet provider, is the electricity that has been messing up in my house here. So it's because of the rain. We've been having some weather challenges, and as a result of that, the electricity is being switched off. So what happens is that when electricity goes off, the government, I have my own local electricity, it turns on. But it takes a second. For us, it's a second. But for that second, when it goes off that second, it breaks the internet link. So it needs like a minute or two for it to be connected. So that's why we go off a little bit. But just hang on. When we go off like that, just hang on. Are you hearing me now? Is it better? Can you hear me? I hope you can hear me now, because I'm seeing myself. Let me see if you're hearing me or not. I'm going to try here all by myself. Can you hear me? Oh yeah, I think he said. I think Julie said yes, we do. So I'm going to go by that. Welcome everyone. Let's go and share the link. Let's go share the link. Okay, Patty says, I can hear your beautiful voice. I didn't know I have a beautiful voice. Do you know what? I don't even listen to my own messages anymore. I mean, I cannot, I don't think I have a beautiful message. I mean, I have a beautiful voice, so I don't listen to my message. I hardly do. But since Patty is saying I have a beautiful voice, who knows? Maybe I will just begin to listen to myself again. Who knows? Maybe I will just begin to listen to myself again. Anyway, we are back. Let's quickly go and share the link. Go share the link, And then I'm going to give you the surprise of the evening. The surprise of the evening. I'm sure none of you will expect this one. What we are going to have today. So it's going to be interesting and wonderful to hear. So I will introduce to you Olena, who will introduce to you the person who is going to, tell our story and our testimony today. Only I might not be needed. My help might not be needed. But in the next 2 hours, we'll be coming back with Mayowa and with all your questions. I see Pastor Sam Oluwatoye here, and he has a few questions, I think, yesterday. So we are going to try to answer his question today. And so that is going to be in the next 2 hours when we come back with Mayowa. Anyway, so here we are. Olena Stebe.
Добрий вечір усім.
Good evening, everyone.
Сьогодні у нас уже 15-й день.
Can you believe it, friends? We already are on our 15th day.
І ми продовжуємо дізнаватися історії звичайних людей, життя, які перетворилося в незвичайне завдяки пастору Сандею.
And we'll keep on hearing the stories, the extraordinary stories of changed lives. Thanks to Pastor Sunday.
І сьогодні у нас незвичайна гостя, тому що ви її вже знаєте.
The visitor that we have today is an unusual visitor because this visitor is already known to you.
Але ви її, можливо, не знаєте з такої сторони, як сьогодні вона вам розкаже про
But you
себе.
might discover her in a new manner, in a new way today.
Вона допомагає пастору Сандею. Вона веде велику роботу в громадській роботі.
She does a lot of work.
І вона зараз нам все розповість.
Отже,
зустрічайте Катю Короніс.
Our visitor today is Katia Koronis.
Hello. Nice to see you all online. Greetings to you. Okay, this is a very good day today because we are continuing to celebrate Pastor Sunday's birthday. And there is really a reason to celebrate this because this life impacted many lives, thousands lives, 100,000 lives, and my life as well. And it impacted in such a way that I wouldn't be who I am today without what Pastor Sunday was teaching, without what he was showing with his life. So what I am, I can say that I am a result of Pastor Sunday's life. So I'm celebrating also. Happy birthday to you, Pastor.
Катя, скажіть, будь ласка, ви пастора Сандея вже знаєте давно, і ви сказали, що ви є тим, хто ви є завдяки пастору. І пастору виповнюється вже через 2 тижні 50 років. Що ви можете сказати про його ювілей? Що це для вас особисто?
Kate, you said you've known Pastor Sunday for a while now. And you said you are a product of his life and his ministry. But now, what do you say about his birthday? Pastor Sunday is going to be 20, he's going to be 50 in the next 2 weeks. We would like to hear your thoughts about his life and what his birthday means to you. Yeah, somebody is saying, looking beautiful, Kate. That Kate is looking so beautiful. I've never seen her so beautiful. I am impressed. Because that's the problem with familiarity. When you are working with somebody, especially when Kate is always walking, and she's always in the work mood. And because of that work mood, she's not using all kind of cosmetics, and she's not, what do you say? She's not emphasizing. Ooh, again, we have the same challenge with the light. I hope it will not go off this time. But Kate was not normally underlining her because of those. Okay, I'm sorry. I warned you. Don't go away. Don't go away. Because thank God I was not. Kate was not talking yet at that point. I was just getting ready to bring her on. Now I think the internet is back. Like I told you, let me just explain to you so that you will know that if whenever the internet stops like that, when it pauses, that you shouldn't break it. Don't stop it. Don't put it off. It comes back by itself. And the reason is because we are having a bad weather here in Ukraine right now. And as a result of that bad weather, it's affecting the electricity. So it could break a little bit and then comes back in. So if it breaks like that, don't go away. We are going to just resume immediately. And okay, so Kate, has always been a hard worker. She works so hard. She's very focused, very faithful. Not too many people know how to work in this country, I'm sorry. But Kate is a very good example. Very, very good example. Very, very good. Hard worker. Tries her best. So because of that, she's not coming to work, maybe for men here not to be tempted. She's not coming to work painted and with all cosmetics and makeup. She just, she's always ordinary. But today, because she's coming on the show, I think Olena got her compromised today. So Olena got her to put in some cosmetics and makeup today. So, okay, Kate, here we are. What does Pastor Sunday's birthday mean to you? Kate is back.
Well, first of all, if I wouldn't know Pastor, if I could see only Pastor on TV or internet and not hear to him, I would think that he looks very young, younger than 50 years. I might not even believe that he's 50 years old. Because my company is people where I'm among people around the same age usually, because my husband, he's 50 years old, and what I can say is that he looks that young that I wouldn't believe he's 50. And maybe the reason is he's always laughing, he's having a good mood always, and he has a positive energy, attitude to life, so I wouldn't believe he is 50. But when you listen to Pastor, when you allow principles that Pastor brings to influence your life, impact your life, you will never believe also he is 50. You will at least think that he is 100 years old. And the reason is because many people, they have such a wisdom from their life experience. And they had to live like 100 years to have such a life experience. But Pastor is always studying, he's always paying attention to many different subjects which will affect society. And that's why he's developed so much that you cannot say that he is 50 years old. Like, you wouldn't believe. If you will not see Pastor, his face, you will not believe that he is 50 years old. And I'm sure that if you will just take one series of live broadcast, for one person it is enough to spend all the life, to discover what Pastor discovered. But we have already 30, and it's only live broadcast that was done in 8 months. So you can imagine the wisdom Pastor has, and it just proves that he cannot be 50 years old with this knowledge. And if we would be in the age where it's not written in the Pastor, you wouldn't be able to prove me that he is 50. So this is what I think about Pastor's age. Now, about influencing lives, where Pastor is really living a life dedicated to serve people, to raise people. And I remember one thing Pastor said that is like this, these pictures for me who Pastor is. And Pastor said, if someone meets me one time, I want to give the whole planet to this person. So if you meet Pastor in your life, be sure that there is the whole planet is prepared for you. Can you imagine the scale? It's not like one prophecy prepared for you. It's not like one advice prepared for you. Pastor can see, for one person can see the whole future and the highest possibilities for this person where he can get to. So it's like the whole planet, the whole earth can be open for this person. So Pastor is not only dedicated to serve people, just to cover their needs, to help them in today's their life questions. Pastor is living 300 years ahead, and also for other people he sees life 300 years ahead. So if you are next to Pastor, and there is no excuse why you shouldn't see your life 300 years ahead. So this is what does it mean, Pastor's influence on lives of people who are around and who are following and who are allowing his teachings to influence their lives.
Да, Катя, ви сказали цей принцип, що коли з пастором зустрічаєшся і він як цілу планету. І я теж згадала, як колись ми прийшли на домашню групу, і він сказав, що у мене є принцип, якщо коли-небудь хтось зустрічається зі мною, то він уже не залишається таким самим. Я згадала це із свого прикладу.
Olena is saying that thank you, Kate, for remembering that and for giving that example that anybody who meets Pastor Sunday receives a whole planet from him. Pastor Sunday becomes not just a blessing, but it gives you like a whole world. It gives you a discovery that it will take a lifetime for you to discover. And it's true. I am myself, I could confirm this. That is what Olena is saying. Because when I was in the home group or in the mentorship team of Pastor Sunday, he used to teach us that. He used to tell us that you just need to meet me once. And then you are made for life and eternity.
Да, я тоді подумала, Боже, невже з мене щось получиться?
But when I heard that from Pastor, I was not really very sure. I was saying, do you mean that he could even transform me and make me to be somebody? Okay, maybe he will be successful in making other people someone, but will he succeed with me? Can he make something of me? Is it possible to make something good out of me? Will he succeed in that one? Won't he fail when it comes to me? Am I capable of being made into anything? And that was my thought that time. But now we see the result in Olena's life.
Да, і це справді вийшло, це правда.
And I see now, he made something out of me for sure. Just like he succeeded in making something out of everybody else.
Це з кожним виходить.
It makes something out of all people, including me.
Катя, у мене виходить тоді наступне питання, випливає. Скажіть, будь ласка, ви пам'ятаєте свою першу зустріч з пастором Сандеєм? І проведіть, будь ласка, паралелі, яке було ваше життя і яке воно зараз?
Kate, do you remember your first meeting with Pastor Sunday? If you do, what was that meeting like? And what changed? What has changed since then and now? What are the things that have taken place in your life since then?
Yes, I remember the first time I met Pastor. First time, let's start from when I saw Pastor first time. I saw him on TV, so I believed to what Pastor was saying, because he was talking about addicted people, that their life can be changed, and I had in my family addicted person who I wanted to bring to that place where Pastor said that they are getting freedom. So it was my aunt. I took my aunt and we came to this place, and I didn't think it's for me. Well, I was a young girl, 23 years old, and I thought I knew all the cultural events that there were in Kiev. So when I came to this church and there were 2,000 people there, everyone happy, everyone nice dressed, like for celebration or something. And I thought, like, what's going on? I don't know what's going on in Kiev if I don't know what's going on here. And I was so interested, and I decided to stay. So there, at this moment, I saw Pastor Sunday on stage, and he was talking about things that were very simple to understand. You could understand that there is wisdom, but it also could be applicable into your life. So I liked this so much, and I wanted to keep coming. And one more thing is that from the first moment I saw Pastor, I saw him as a role model, but I was too ambitious maybe that time. I saw him on the stage, he was running, he was screaming and saying many things, that were inspiring me, and I thought, I will be like him. This is what I thought. And when my leader in the group for young believers, she was asking me, who do you want to be? At that time, I already read a book called Your Calling, about your calling and your goal. So I said, well, it's simple, I'm going to be pastor. But I didn't mean going to be pastor is to pastor people. I thought going to be pastor is to be on the stage preaching there, This is what I thought to be a pastor. But after I started to develop, and I understood it's working with people, and then I said, maybe not pastor. Well, but this was just from far, I saw Pastor. But first time, personally, I met Pastor, it was like very interesting because I was going to Greece. I didn't live in Ukraine at that time. I was going to Greece back to my husband, and I repented here in Ukraine. I became a believer, and I was determined to follow this path. And I was when I was entering the gates, when I was giving luggage, I saw Pastor Sunday, and I thought that Pastor Sunday he had to have like security around him. No one could come to him, and there was one simple man, Pastor Sunday. You could come, yeah. At the airport, yeah, and I came and I say, "Hello, Pastor Sunday. I'm from your church. My name is is Katerina." And I was surprised how open Pastor was, how he found time to talk to me. He was, you know what, I was talking, we had like about maybe 20 minutes. I was talking all 20 minutes because I was not so that wise to listen to Pastor. And he was so patient. He was just, not just listening, he was listening with emotions. Like I was saying something and he was, oh, really? Wow! Like, you know, I thought like I am the center of the world when I was there talking with Pastor. Like I felt so much, you know, of value at the time. So this is what usually Pastor do with everyone who he meets. He gives people to understand that they are people that have value. So this was the first time I met Pastor, and my impression like this. But you know, even more impressed I were 10 years later when Pastor remembered that he met me there. He remembered that he met me, and I was surprised. Like, who was I?
After 10 years?
After 10 years, like, who was I? You know, so this was my first when I met with Pastor, and even this short discussion, conversation with Pastor, it remained a lesson for me for many years, because when I was growing, I started to understand that no one is actually given so much attention, especially if people are busy, if they are having a lot of things to do. So if someone stops for you, this is, you know, a great, either it is love, either a person is really interested in you to grow. I don't know. I mean, I didn't think about this. I thought that I learned that if someone stops for you, this person is really wants to give to you something, because most people, they just pass through, especially if you are no one. So it was a lesson for me for many years then.
Це була ваша перша зустріч. Як далі склалося? Результати були.
So that was your first meeting with Pastor Sunday. What happens later on? What happened later on in your life? You know, how did you grow, and how was your further relationship with Pastor Sunday? How did everything grow in you after that?
Well, because I became a Christian, I knew I had to grow, so I bought a lot of books of Pastor Sunday, as many as I could buy. I think I bought as many as possible that time. I took them with me because I stayed here just a week after I came to God, to church, to Christ, just a week. And so I was growing on Pastor Sunday's books in Greece there. And I was working on cruise ships, and you know, it was my life. I didn't know I had to change something. I thought I just met Jesus and that's it. Like my life, now I'm happy and that's it. But I started to feel the urge that I need to learn more. I found out of the Joshua Bible School, and I decided that I will go there. So the moment that I came to Ukraine, I called my husband and I said, there is an opportunity to go to a Bible school. I want to study, and it's 1 year. You know, for Greek men, it's like to a Muslim person. You cannot say that you will be far away for him so long. And he just replied, okay. I couldn't believe my ears. So I stayed to study here in Joshua Bible School. And so from this point, I already started to develop as a minister, as someone who will serve people. I was trying to find already my purpose, but I was influenced by books before, and then when I came to Bible school, all pastors' disciples, pastors that were growing in this church, they were teaching there, they were sharing all their knowledge, and this was a system for our growth. So this is how I was developing. Okay, and after developing in this school, I thought that I'm called to Greece. I'm called to do them, to serve there, to do their revival. How I thought, and I went to Greece and found there my pastor Natalia, who is also in the same mindset, and we started to work
from
together.
The Embassy of God.
Yeah, she's from the Embassy of God, and she was leading me and supporting me, and we were together all the time.
А скажіть, будь ласка, які ви маєте на сьогоднішній день результати завдяки пастору?
Well, first result is me, the way I changed.
No, you didn't ask the question. Because people didn't understand, people don't speak Russian.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Olena was asking, what will you say have changed in your life? What are the results that have taken place in your life after you met Pastor Sunday?
Okay, so what I say is that first result, it was me, the way I changed, I was living like normally people live. They want to get married, they want to get to have children, and they don't think about what will be the impact on this earth done by their lives. I never thought about this. So what Pastor changed just with one book about calling and your purpose, this thing was changed. I understood that there is something more than I know, that God called me for something more, and this is how I changed. I stopped to be a person living for myself totally. Of course, there was a time when I had to develop and to develop my urge and desire to serve other people. But from that point, when I read this book, this changed. So I was the first changed. But of course, when I was serving in the church, but at one point, Pastor was started to preach a lot and to teach a lot, church without walls. And we couldn't understand why people are not coming to church, but when we heard about church without walls, we said, wow, this is it, this is what we need. And at that time, I started to move in understanding that church is not only here where you have to preach the word of God. I understood that church is also teaching principles in the language that people understand. So this is the field where I have my results. I started to move in working with people, and I had a lot of different, I tried different forms how to work with people. I was writing articles in newspaper in Greece to work with diaspora there. I wrote about 50 articles together with the team. Then I started to do ladies club there. I was doing seminars on family and psychology. I was learning and just giving this information. I was not a psychologist, but they were listening to me. And I started to then, just like Pastor does, he is trying to see for other people he's given other people their future that they can have. So I understood that there are people that needs my help also to see themselves, to find their purpose in life, to find how to develop. And I focused on women who married to men in Greece, and they cannot find themselves. They just were buried in the family routine, and they were not happy. So those ladies I started to work with, and I have very good results, which I have on my pictures. I can show.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so we started to do a weekly. I started to do a monthly club where ladies were invited, and what we were doing, we was discussing one statement from the book. I would took a principle, a statement, and we will go around people would say what they think about this statement and why do they agree or why they do not agree. This is how we were building our club, so they were discussing. But we went further because many women, they wanted to not only discuss some things, they also wanted to discover themselves what they can do. So what we are doing, we started to do a contest. This is the contest for family picture. We started to reach out to people online for them to participate in this contest. And after this contest, those pairs, they were coming for consultation. So this pair, for example, they were coming for me for consultation after this contest because we had friendship. I was sharing with them principles. They were trusting already. And they came one day and they said, we have problem, maybe you can help us. And they shared their problem. So this is how people started to open their hearts. And I was working in many directions. We just started like this with this contest. Then what we did next is we started to do exhibitions, and this is the first exhibition we did. This is the gallery where we showed the pictures done with needle. The Gobelin is named. And this is the first meeting. Then we had the people, they started to learn how to do it. So we started giving professions to them, skills, and these people got certificates already of those skills that they got. Then we were doing not live broadcast, we were doing recording for online.
Is that Hillary Clinton?
It's not the Hillary Clinton, she's a psychologist.
Looks just like her.
Yes, she is, yeah. So this is a psychologist that is in children's psychology. So we were doing interviews with her. It was like in 2012. Then these are the articles we were writing, and this is for about art, about health, about art again. Different ways to express yourself in the art, and this about fashion we were writing, and this has led us to do fashion weeks. We did fashion weeks, and ladies what they were showing actually was what they made by their hands. We did like 3 fashion weeks like this, and we had 30 people and more on these exhibitions and fashion weeks. And if you were working abroad with foreigners, with diaspora, it's not easy to collect them in one place. It's very difficult, but we managed to do this, and we collected like 30 people in one place, and they were looking for this fashion week. And what happened is that we had one lady that was over 50, she was 60 years old, and she was doing very nice things, and she didn't know what to do further. And she was so much inspired with this fashion week that she said, what if I will go to the Moscow fashion Zaitsev? And she just sent him his works, and she did a fashion week with him. Can you imagine? With Zaitsev. Zaitsev is one of the most famous Russian fashion stylist, or what is his name? Designer. So these are the exhibitions they were doing, and her works are here also. So the ladies were selling. So many of them when they.
Назад, то, что назад country, назад.
Not sure. Okay, here. This is what I think is. Okay, so these are exhibitions they were doing. They were selling this, and it was additional income for these ladies. We did also a catalog of things, so that someone could open the catalog, choose, and buy from there. So we even went that far. So we did this catalog, and One time I did with them, another time they became independent and they did by themselves. They found who will be supporting, like with advertisement, paying for advertisement and supporting the issue of this publishing of this catalog. So they were, learning how to go into the market with whatever they have in their lives, in like a talent. So next, what I want to show here is. This how the catalog was looking. It's just like regular catalog that you can see to choose your clothes, and so we were influencing in this sphere. And then this is the lady. You can see this Zaitsev. She's with him over here. And this lady. Then later she also. Was working with one Greek designer, very famous Greek designer. So you can see her works. And so what I believe is that my work opened to her. She started to believe that she can be more than she thought. She started to believe that she can not only sit at home as a grandma and doing.
You made that to find a calling.
Yes, and she found in herself power and belief, in herself to go farther and to work with such people as Zaitsev and fashion designers on the higher level in Greece.
The most famous fashion houses. Yeah. Yes.
So this is this is what I would be like. I was very happy about this. So this is the works that she did.
Wow.
Yeah, beautiful. They were working together. Okay, and next we were doing concerts and different clubs for women, and then later I understood that it's not only art that you can develop in. I understood that most of them, they don't have good health. So we started to do outside fitness at sea, and we started to do advertisement, calling people to come for fitness at sea, and they were coming on seaside. Yeah, they were coming once a week. So we had trainer, and then we understood there is an interest in it, and then I invited dancers, and we started to do classes on dancing. I have it more on video. I don't have here. You see happy women. It was the end of one of the shows, and they are usually not that happy when they are living for years in abroad, diaspora, yeah, because they lose themselves. Many of them are doctors that were working for 10 or 20 years. Some of them are teachers that were working for 15 years in their country. They were recognized in their country. They were able to do whatever they want to do on a good level. But when they came to Greece, they were not able anymore to be on the level that they, on the respectable level, let's say. So they are just now wives, and who are wives? No one. So this is what was happening with this. Here I can see the happy women, and so here you see one Polish diaspora already. He started to be interested with what we are doing, and they started to come because they wanted to see what's going on. Why do you have so many people? Because they couldn't collect any out of their diaspora, so they were coming and taking this experience. From Poland, yeah, Polish diaspora. Mm-hmm. But it was close to the time that I left from Greece. We didn't continue that much. These times when we were sitting and discussing different statements from books or reading books, and here they were doing celebrations already without me when I left. So I left from Greece at one point, and this movement continued. Now I think we have the most friendly diaspora in all the Europe, Russian diaspora, because usually what they are sitting separately in houses and they're not communicated. But now the diaspora is very friendly. So I think this is the influence that we had. But the reason we had this influence,
you brought the kingdom of God there.
Yes, and the reason it happened is because pastor was teaching that your church is not 4 walls. church is outside. And what you could see is the church, but they didn't know it's church. They didn't know. We just knew that when we were working with them, we knew they have problem with these principles, and we were teaching these principles. We knew they had problem in the relationships. We were teaching them relationships, and we were just going like this. We didn't hide that we were Christian. They knew that we were Christian, but the same.
And we were using the books too.
Yes, we were using the books because they are very practical, easy to work with them. And when
and you were not even going to any church this time because Pastor Patricia was here.
No, it was
okay,
it was when
okay.
yeah, it was
because
when she was
many
there.
people there now who are watching you, they think, oh, I have to be going to church, just go to church to sit down every week.
No, it's actually everything is out of. It was not it was. I didn't have to go
Not
to pastor.
religious.
I didn't have to I didn't have to go to pastor and say, "Can I do it, please?" I just started to do this.
And I want to say, I know. You know that Kate has been working with me, right? And we are living in the same house sometimes, even here. But I never saw this. I'm seeing this for the first time. I am a pastor, the senior pastor, and I never saw this. I never even heard about this. I'm just saying this for the very first time. I never even knew the Kate was doing all this. That is how every church should be. That is how much freedom a pastor should give the members. No member should be going to a pastor to ask for permission or to ask for blessing to do anything to serve God. God already gave you the permission. And no pastor should be, asking the members to go and take permission or blessing to do this. He's already blessed. You see, she just an ordinary girl who was coming to church here just for 1 week, 1 month.
No, I was already
before.
Yes.
She just got saved within 1 week in Ukraine and left to the country. Then she came for the Bible school and went back. So she was never living here. But she got so much knowledge, and it was enough for her to go and bring the kingdom to where she is. This is what the kingdom of God is all about. Every one of you can bring the kingdom to where you are. Look at the simple way she's done it. She found women who had needs. Then she gathered them together and brought the kingdom of God to them. And the principles of the kingdom of God, bringing answers in different ways. Through just meeting together, through reading books, through dancing, through discovering their calling, through fashion, through the calling of helping them to find their calling. Any one of us can just be who we are called to be. Every one of us can carry the kingdom. The kingdom of God is in all of us, and all of us can carry the kingdom.
There is only one thing I couldn't explain to them, is why am I doing this for free? Like, they couldn't understand why I was doing this for free, because all the world wanted something from them. And I was trying to explain them that, we have all our gifts to serve people. This is how pastor teaches, but it takes time, I think, to change their minds. So I believe at one point they did it because they are continuing, from what I can see, that they are continuing doing this, and I'm happy that it didn't die.
Wow.
Катя.
Beautiful. Yep.
Катя, ви сьогодні працюєте з пастором близько, вже в період довшого часу. І скажіть, будь ласка, що це вам дає? Які це для вас уроки? Що міняється в вашому житті?
Kate, you're working with pastor now for some time. Why are you working with him? Why are you spending so much time helping him? What does he give you? Why are you spending your life with him? And working for free, just serving.
Okay, I had prehistory because I used to work in the company, goods company known worldwide. It has about 140,000 employees.
Wow.
Worldwide. And I came to this company by being zero. I didn't know anything. I just knew to type on PC. I didn't know so much. But the pastor was teaching that you cannot, if you are a Christian, why should you be a tail if you can be a head? And I had in my mind, like, I have to be a head. Mm-hmm. And I started to do exactly what Pastor was teaching. Pastor, he said just look for serving people, and I was coming to my bosses and I was saying, how can I help you? What can I do for you? Like my 8 hours finished and I was coming and I was asking, what can I do for you? Like, why are you staying so long? And I started to work with them and growing as a worker. I grew up into being a leader of one very responsible team, which is IT operations team. And I even got some certificates that as a best worker from the one of top management of Dell company, which was a client for us. And everything happened because Pastor was teaching to be a head. So in 4 years, I became a head, I became on demand, and I received, when I was leaving from this company, I received maybe 40 emails from the company saying, we are so sorry you are leaving, keep us in your mind, don't forget about us, and etc. And this was from client side, not from company, because company was outsourcing, it was from client side. But I had to leave, and the reason I had to leave is because although I was growing there, although I had success in career development, I felt like for last a year and a half, I felt like I am spending my time for someone's goals, which I'm not aligned to.
Uncle Sam.
Which I was not aligned to these goals. Like, okay, I understand they are doing good thing and everything, but my life is going away. I understood that I was 30. I understand that my body is already like aching from sitting so much. And I said, if I will continue like this and I wake up in 10 years, what will happen with me? And I decided to leave. And I didn't know yet what to do. And because I left, we went out of money in my family, and our decision was that I come to Ukraine for a time.
Why should you be the one supporting your family, so that if you left your job, your family doesn't have money anymore?
The reason for this was that my view of the world is that you can do everything. My husband's view is that everything is determined. So he is predetermined. So he has his job, which was on the cruise ships. Cruise ships are gone from Ukraine, from Greece. They don't have cruise ships anymore, and that's why he cannot find job. But he cannot change his profession because he's already 45. He was that time 45, or now he's 50. So he believes that he cannot change profession. It's too late for him. So this is why he didn't have job for a long time. He was looking at the same field.
And you were working.
And I was working. I was successful there. But you know what? And he couldn't understand how you can leave the job if many people, they are looking for such job, dreaming for such job, and why you are leaving from there. So he couldn't understand. And because and I had a good income there, but since we left, no support, no more income. And by the way, there was an influence from Pastor Sunday why I decided to leave also this work, because I was attending pastor mentorship program, and on one in one meeting of pastor mentorship program, which was online for us foreigners, pastor was saying about one family where a wife was supporting a man financially, and pastor, he didn't say it's right, he didn't say it's not right, he was just laughing maybe for 5 minutes non-stop and just saying, what, she's paying for his bills, ha 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 ha. And the moment he was laughing, I was crying, because I was saying, but it's me, it's me, this is how I live, I'm supporting like my husband, and I'm working to support him, and he's just relaxed. And this laughter, it changed my view on the things, because I thought everything was fine, but it was not. So I came to Ukraine, and I came already as different person. I came as someone who doesn't want to work for money, doesn't want to work for career. I knew that I want to work for idea. Like, I want to work for something that has value, and value not material. I didn't want any material value. I understood that you can lose this anytime. You will never satisfied with this. When you die, no one will remember about good girl who was working in that company. Who will remember? No one will remember. And I have an urge to be remembered on this earth, because like, how can I even think that it's enough for me to live a comfortable life if I know that I can be remembered in ages if I will work have different life. And I came here then, and exactly at the time when I came here, my pastor Natalia, she was already here in Ukraine, and she said, Katya, there is something here that you must know. And I came for a meeting where it was University of Life discussed, and I just felt that this is the idea. This is the idea where I am willing to give my life. And now about money, I wasn't worried so much, because I knew I just didn't know laws of money, and I didn't know how to convert time and knowledge and everything I have into products. So I knew it just would take time for me to learn. So in about 2 years, I learned how to convert ideas into products, time into products, and now I can do it. So.
Катя, а скажіть,
I didn't answer the question. What did I just answer how did I.
Okay, go ahead and answer.
So what do I learn from Pastor? I have seen many large people, bosses, were in the business where I was working, and one thing I'm learning from Pastor is that I never seen so much strategic people. I never saw
people.
Strategic person. I never saw. Yeah, I never saw so much determined person. I never saw such a person who likes to make people grow. Usually, what everyone wants around is to use you, you know. Mm-hmm. And what I learned from Pastor, he's not looking for using you. You know, he is looking for you to grow and have future. This is what I'm learning from Pastor, and his view at someone is strategic. So if you just look for using someone, it's just for now and here. There is no future in this.
Use and throw away.
Yeah, use and throw away. But Pastor sees future, and this is what I couldn't find before. I never could see this before. So it just reminds you that your value. And value not to be used, but you know, much more than you can think. This is what I'm learning. I'm learning the main thing I'm learning from Pastor is how he treats people, how he sees people, which is how he sees a person and a future for him. This is what I'm learning.
Mm-hmm. Катя, а як би ви могли
How will you describe the personality of Pastor Sunday?
I would say.
What was it like? Who is it like? What are the characteristics?
I would say that Pastor, he is like, if not for me personally, right? Mm-hmm. Not for me personally. Generally, I think Pastor is, although he is still living, but he is historical personality already. Legend, yeah. You cannot, usually they say historical personality when the person is gone, but Pastor already have built a history. Thousands, hundreds of thousands lives impacted already, and they will still be impacted for I think not even 300 years, for 500 years for sure. Because just analyze, Martin Luther, he was living 500 years ago, and he is still impacting us because all the Europe is built on his principles on just regarding religion. But Pastor is taking every sphere of life in, if we say, like this, on every level, on personal level, family level, on social level, on national level, all levels, right? And except of this, also all kinds of like society, not kinds of society, like politics spheres, politics, culture, like every area. So if imagine that Martin Luther, he was focusing only on religion, and Pastor is taking so wide range. So and Martin Luther is already living 500 years. So, and imagine what will happen. I think that Pastor will be living more than 500 years. And this is why I think he's already a historical personality. Pastor is philosopher, but what does it mean philosopher for me? It doesn't mean that person is just, flying somewhere philosophizing. Philosopher is someone who is building the foundation, the mindset that nations will have. This is what means philosopher.
On which nations are built.
Yes. So it's the mindset on which nations are built. So, like 100 years from now on, you will see on this earth, or whoever will live 100 years, will see on this earth nations that are built on philosophy that Pastor Sunday has developed during these 50 years that he was living, and this philosophy is not just like philosophizing about whatever comes into a head. It's strategically developed concepts that will help people to live in Kingdom of God here on the earth by the rules of Kingdom of God and these standards of Kingdom of God. So this is what is a pastor is philosopher. Philosopher is someone who is working with his head and working to build, to have product, to have result, and result not today only, but also in ages. This is what I think philosopher is.
Mm-hmm. А кто для вас пастор?
Yeah, and another one, I have three, like. Another one is father, but father not like a figure of father in the family. What I mean by father is father of nations, someone who starts and gives future to the nations. Mm-hmm. This is what I think pastor is. Because already now with Nigeria Transformation Project, pastor is sharing how he prepares. He's preparing to give life to this nation. And many nations will follow. It's like, it's like a model that will be applied everywhere. So he is like father for nations.
Ви вже сказали. А хто для вас особисто пастор?
But who is Pastor Sunday to you personally, Kate?
I would say father, but I don't know what's father mean, unfortunately. Like I have father. I have good relationship with father, but we don't have friendly relationships. We are not friends that much. I cannot share with him like my thoughts for future because I know that he might not understand or support or anything. And I know that he won't be able to correct me because he cares about me, but he's usually just trying to protect me. Don't do this and don't do that, like this. So for me, father is a figure that is there, but is a little bit far. So you can come to him when you need, but he's not actually a friend. He's not actually in your life so much. This is what. So I can. I know many people say Pastor Sunday a father for me. So if I will say Pastor Sunday is
about for them, but
yes,
for you, talk about yourself.
But if I say a father for me, it means that I will say about that Pastor is a person who is far.
Say something else.
Yes. So
what it is.
I will dare to say a friend. This. Yeah. Why I will dare to say a friend? Because for me, friend is not just a person who is supporting you in everything, just having fun with you. For me, friend is someone who is caring about you as a personality for your future. And a friend is someone who will tell you the truth. A friend is someone who will stop you when you need to be stopped. A friend is someone who will not pity you. this is what many people they think is father, and I think this is friend. So this is what who pastor for me is.
Катя, які книги або вчення пастора найбільше впливали на вас?
Are there some books of pastors or some of his teachings that change you, that influence you? That's what Olena is asking.
Yes, there are different pastors were writing books in different stages. Like I think there was one period when pastor was writing books on church, spiritual development, and those books, the ones.
Spiritual books. Huh?
Yeah, I have grown on these books. So because I have grown on these books, I never thought how much they influenced me, but they built me. Because I was reading all of them, they built me, those books. Two books that really changed me that much is Your Calling and Purpose. And another book is Завоеватели земли.
Yeah, the Restorers of the Earth.
Restorers of the Earth. Because I could see everywhere. I could see the purpose for myself. Because I don't know, maybe until this moment when I met pastor in my life, I never saw the purpose for myself. And I even now I think this is the main thing everyone has to find. If person doesn't find purpose, it's like no future, no purpose, no future. This is what I think. So these two books, they really changed me, but all the spiritual books, they built me. And because I was like eating them, at that point I couldn't even evaluate them and say that, wow, this book changed me. It was just normally like drinking milk. I just grew up on those. But later, when pastor started to write books with University of Life brand,
on the society.
On the society, on the language that is understood for society, for me was very important books on why asking questions is more important than faith in God, family, and even food, right? And even faith in God. Sorry, food, family, and even faith in God. Because the reason this book was important for me is because I had always asking questions. I was asking many questions, but they were never on purpose. I couldn't understand how Jesus was that young and he went to synagogue and he was asking questions, and that's why he was wise. Like he was showing himself to be wise. I couldn't understand. After reading these books, I understood that your life is built according to what questions you ask, and your mindset is built with what questions you can ask. Everything that you will have in future, or you have now, or you had in the past, came from questions you were asking. So just change questions, you will change everything in your life. Change questions. This was very important for me. The series of books on emotions, on thinking, was very important for me, and especially the book Managing Your Thoughts, Mind and Inner World. This book I was literally learning by heart. I was reading the book, the chapter, closing it and trying to remember every word exactly as it was said there. I was repeating this exactly as was said there, because I understood that the way I was reading the books previously, I was just taking what I thought was important for me, but it was not bringing me that much change.
Very bad.
Yeah, so
like that.
Unfortunately, because I was reading everything, but I thought, this is for me, this is for me, this is for me. Wow, this is very inspiring, and this is for me. But every word in the book is inspiring. So when I read this book,
how did that help you after you did that?
I started to control my thoughts and to be conscious of every thought that is coming. It means
so
that.
It helped.
Yes, it helped, and it helped in many decisions that I'm taking. I know where I'm moving on feelings, where I'm moving on decisions, when I understand where I lack concepts, I need to develop concepts there. I understand that where my life doesn't have base, you know, and I know where I can move further. So this book helped me to remove any fear, because if you don't know where you stand, you have fear. This is how it helped me.
Вчення.
What about the teachings of Pastor Sunday? Which one of them have blessed you most?
The first teaching that I remember until now is the teaching in the old place we had, and it was 3 levels of thought. It's when the thought, when you are talking, and when you are talking with emphasis, with emotion, or saying with emotion, and they are loud. Because at that moment I couldn't get rid of some thoughts, and it really helped me. Like I just applied what Pastor was saying, and that's it. And I got rid of the thoughts that I couldn't get rid. This is the one. But I was a child in Christ that time, and this is why I needed this urgently. But the teaching that was very important was on HMT for the heroes of anniversary, church anniversary books about energy. I have discovered a totally new universe when I found out what energy means. What is energy? When I found the connection between word, energy, and like I could hear for hours these teachings, and every time I could hear, I was understanding deeper and deeper. And from this understanding, from these teachings, I started to understand how to convert time or knowledge or anything you have into product. This is what I got from there, it took me 2 years to get it from this teaching. I didn't get it immediately, and not from first listening, but I thought I understood something I'm missing still there, and I was listening, and I got this understanding.
That's what most people should know, that they might need to listen to Pastor Sunday's teaching as many times as possible.
Yes, I was, I was listening, but not like we listen sometimes. We are on the way and we have headphones and we are listening. No. I was listening and I was thinking, what do I not understand from here? Because many things Pastor was saying, I thought I understood, but if I will try to reproduce what Pastor is saying, and you will understand, you cannot reproduce it, because you simply do not understand this. And so I was getting deeper and deeper into this, and I started to try to see how I can apply this in my life, and that's why I started to understand the topic, but 2 years of learning.
Катя, як ви думаєте, який слід залишить життя пастора Сандея на землі?
What do you think? What legacy will Pastor Sunday be leaving on the earth?
There is no question that Pastor Sunday will be in all historical books of all nations, and it's not words. I just explained to you my logic on this, because Pastor is developing the concept of new mindset, kingdom mindset for every sphere of life. And he's not only sitting and developing these concepts, he is also putting this in products that are clear and understood for every person. Like anyone can take a book and read it with very simple examples and understand this. And this changes minds. It means that these minds are going to live different life. People are going to have totally different future. Pastor is changing future. So he's not confirming to what is there. He's not saying that, okay, this is life, this is what we have, and just let's try to live a holy life in this. No, he's saying this is wrong, I will change it, and he's changing it. And this is not in one sphere like, let's say, religion. No, in every sphere. Is it personality? Is it professional growth? Is it career? Is it growing up children, family, education, politics, any social activity, anywhere? Pastor has his developed philosophy and the concepts Yes.
Concepts and ideas.
And ideas, which the concepts and ideas are the most important things. I was wondering one time, like, how philosophers could get into history by just saying what they're saying and what's changing. And what I understood, that they change everything. They change the way people live. They change even their
their lifestyle.
Even their lifestyle. They change. They influence education system. They influence everything.
People's
lifestyle. So they influence everything. So pastor will have definitely great influence. He will be in the history books of all nations because they will be changed by what he is bringing to them.
Ну що ж, Катя, дуже вам дякуємо. Вас цікаво. Але в нас уже час.
Thank you so very much, Katya. Time is fast running over, and so we have to stop, even though we just feel like keep on listening to you.
А вам, дорогі глядачі, дякуємо, що ви були з нами.
Dear friends, thank you for being here with
І ви
us today.
познайомилися з новою гранню Каті, якої ви, можливо, не
I'm
знали.
sure you've discovered a new Kate today, a Kate that you didn't know before. Even Pastor Sunday didn't know this Kate before.
А також ви ще раз переконалися в унікальності пастора Сандея, що це людина, яка дійсно змінює життя, і люди просто мають неймовірні результати.
And this points to a new characteristic of Pastor Sunday, that it changes people, changes their character, it changes their value system, it changes them so much that they begin to do what they never did before.
Тому скористайтеся цим шансом.
So take advantage of your chance, make use of the opportunity of knowing Pastor Sunday, maximize it.
По максимуму все використайте в своєму житті, і ви обов'язково станете іншою людиною, яка себе не впізнає.
Maximize the Pastor Sunday that you know, his teachings, and begin to produce the result in your life, and you will not recognize yourself again.
А ми з вами зустрінемося завтра
I will be back tomorrow
на продовження історії,
to bring another hero to you,
які змінилися, життя змінених людей завдяки пастору.
and those people whose lives were changed thanks to Pastor Sunday.
Тому ми кажемо вам до зустрічі.
So see
Дякую.
you tomorrow. But today, Pastor Sunday will be back in the next 40 minutes. So I will be back in the next 40 minutes with Mayowa, or with one of the questions, to answer some of your questions. So tonight, in the next 40 minutes, we are getting ready to have you again. But Kate has really surprised us today. Surprised me, and she has really demonstrated her versatility. She's so versatility, how versatile she is. And I'm very proud of her. And may God hear your voice, and may your voice become prophetic and come to pass. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. I will see you in 45 minutes. Bye.